Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1619-1619. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont. It's Friday. Ow! I don't know what that was.
Sorry.
Oh. It's okay. Hey, today we'll hear from John Deere the engineer, Floyd the Floorman, and
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Chely Shoehart. The podcast picture I'm just going to tell you is a lovable picture of Basil the Boxer.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And Basil barks and sounds a little like this. Isn't that great? I have to tell you that I ate a delicious salad last evening with a berry girl who's very intriguing. A girl who's very intriguing is what I'm trying to say. Yes, she's
Mike's Daily Podcast.
intoxicating and wonderful, and I like to say her name is Lovely Lady Person.
Mike's
So LLP,
Daily
which is also the name
Podcast.
of like a financial advisor company or something. I don't know. By the way, I got an email that said, "You've been subpoenaed." Listen, here's a tip. Never click on an email that says you've been subpoenaed. Did I? No, I marked it as spam, and Google's now going to find the person. Google's going to find the person who sent that and send them to jail because...
You will respect my authority.
Oh, hey, this is... Look who just walked in. This is for the Lovely Lady Person, LLP. This is for her.
They took our job.
They took our jobs.
They took our job. They took our job. They took your job. They took your job. They took your job. They took our job. Took our job. They took your job.
Wait, there's more.
They took our job. Took our job. Took our job. They took our jobs. Took our job.
Took your job.
Pick a jam. They took my job. They took yeah, they took our job.
And there you go.
Why?
Because people find that funny, as I do as well. As do I. I think it's time for the...
And here's today's podcast picture.
To wit, Basil Boxer. There we go. Okay. I had some people that walked in. I had to say hello.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the Gift Shop Supervisor. What I gleaned from what you played earlier is they took our jobs.
Yeah, they did. It's from a show.
Oh, okay, Mike Matthews. I work in the gift shop.
Yes, you do. Because you own it.
I sell stuff like rugs.
Yes, we have lots of rugs at the gift shop here at Cafe Anyway. Anyway. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere the engineer, Mike. It's very important that we look through life at very things analytically. I have no idea what you just said, but I think it probably meant something. I might be blind.
Is you blind?
Maybe a little bit. I might be crazy.
I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy like that. You know what I mean?
That's true. Hey, and I might be stupid.
Mama says stupid is as stupid does.
Right. But that's all I have to say there. I find it very interesting that James Comey...
It makes me mildly nauseous.
...was talking in an interview I was listening to with the New York Times. And he said the following. He said that one of the times, I think it was when he was revealing that he had information about the emails from Hillary Clinton. This is just before the election. And this is after he was going through Weiner's stuff. That guy Weiner, his unfortunate name Weiner. And so he was going through the emails, and he said on like a Tuesday, as I'm probably remembering this ugly, but he said, this Friday we have more information about the Hillary Clinton emails, and we'll tell you what it is on Friday. So James Comey's daughter said to him, "Dad, I think you Seacrested it." And he said, "What?" She goes, "You Seacrested it. You did a tease." That Ryan Seacrest does that all the time on that stupid show or whatever stupid show he's on. And it comes from his radio days. Because in radio, they're like, you got to keep the audience listening because they're a bunch of cattle that you got to herd into a pen and you got to zap them occasionally. And you got to make sure to treat your listeners like cattle. That's how you do it in radio. That's what all the radio consultants tell you. They are the most hideous human beings on the planet, radio consultants. I hate them. Hate them. Oh, but Mike, they give you great advice. Oh, no. They're just pulling this stuff out of their butt. Oh, no, Mike, it's all backed up by research. No, you don't. You don't. This is not rocket science. And I mean that in the way that...
No.
That it is not studyable. This is people. This is organic. This is constantly changing. So what you say about someone today can be completely different tomorrow. You can't just go, well, blanket. And some of these people are using rules about radio listeners that they've been saying for decades, since like the 50s. And they can't keep doing it almost 50 years. It's ridiculous. I can't count. I don't have any concept of math. Maybe this guy can help me a little bit.
1.
Okay, 1.
2.
2. 3.
4.
4.
5.
Oh, I have to stop. It's getting scary now. It's getting scary. I have to stop. So consultants suck. We've gotten to that level here that we've been able to clear up stuff on the show. And they tell DJs you've got to constantly tease. Hey, coming up, I've got more info about concert tickets. Who's going to stick around for that? All it matters is if you're playing the song I want to hear right now. I got a zillion choices. Back in the 80s, when I first started in radio, there weren't that many. There were choices, but not a whole as many as we have today. We have countless choices. The internet allows you to listen to podcasts, internet radio. You can watch videos. There's so much stuff to get your attention now. Your ears and your eyeballs. So I hate this whole teasing thing. That I hate Ryan Seacrest for that. For the fact that he doesn't age. And I don't know how he does it. He's got like people that spend hours on him in the makeup chair. I don't know exactly what. But the point is that you can... Oh, let's see. I think I got something coming up where I talk on the radio. Let's listen. Right.
I'm Lou Dobbs, the latest...
Oh, that's not me. That's Lou Dobbs. Look, he's...
U.S. mortgage
He's teasing you right now.
The new VW CEO promises a more ethical culture. Those stories next.
I'm going to tell you that next, so stick through this ridiculous commercial. I'm Lou Dobbs. I'm as big as Jabba the Hutt. Hey, it's May the 4th! Holy crap, I completely buried the lead. Happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Oh, I completely forgot. Wow. Thank you, Lou Dobbs, for reminding me. Yeah. I guess I loved the first one because I was a kid and I didn't know better, and I've gone back and watched it and I'm like, yeah, it was good. I like the spaceships. We didn't really have that until this movie. And then... And that's a beautiful song. So sweeping, so majestic. I love that song. But basically, I could care less about Star Wars now. I still haven't seen the last one they did. I watched Rogue One and I was so just disappointed. And so I brought it all down, didn't I? Yeah, Star Wars is the best movie ever, man. I'm dressed as a Star Wars character now. So even James Comey said Seacresting it, and he would not do that again. He said, I learned from that, and from that point forward, if I had information, I would just say it right away. I wouldn't just tease it and say, I'll tell you about it coming up on Friday, coming up tomorrow. And I know at the end of every podcast, I tell you what's coming up as far as the characters go. But it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And you know how it's going to stop? It's you. You got to stop watching those shows that tease you, that give you about 15 seconds what's that? I used to love Mythbusters. Used to love it. And then I realized 90% of the show is teasing you about what's coming up next. Access Hollywood, that show, Entertainment Tonight, all those shows tease you. That's all the show is teasing you what's coming up next. Coming up next, reality TV shows. Coming up next, we'll find out if they actually did lose weight. That kind of thing. No. Done. I'm done with it. And I think you should be done with it too. And together we'll be done with it. And then it will stop and it'll go away. And so you just got to scream at them the following. Oh, crap. I don't have it up. Darn it. Shoot. I hate when I technically have a snafu. Here we go.
No, God!
That's what you got to tell them is no, God. Or perhaps...
No, God, please, no! No! No!
And you can also tell them...
I'm not going to take this anymore!
And it's also tell them...
It's time to stop, okay?
And then finally say...
No more!
That's right. That's what we need to tell them. Because enough already, enough. I talked to someone yesterday who is getting divorced. And I've always had the feeling that he and his wife weren't really... that they were having issues. Honestly, he seemed a little bit out of it as far as the relationship, not really keeping tabs, not really aware. And she seemed like she was trying to constantly improve herself and move on, and it really seemed like he wasn't involved in that process. So when he told me that, I was, I kind of knew. But I've been through it. Been through almost the exact same situation as he, so I tried to give him a little advice. But it sounds like, unlike myself, who is an only child, and I had some friends there, but they had their own lives going on, I had really no support system. I had some friends going, yeah, are you okay? A little bit, not really that much. It was tough. I had to do it all on my own. And in the end, we got to figure it out all on our own. We got to get through all the pain and everything on our own. But that's... family, it sounds like family does step up, and his sister apparently is helping him out a lot. So I did it all on my own. It was tough. It was hard. Oh my God. Wow. Well, actually, no, I had Basil the Boxer help me out quite a bit. Your pets can help you through some hard situations, that's for sure. And then finally, I wanted to mention this as I am starting to talk a little bit like Dr. Evil.
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
Everybody has a type. That's a common misconception, I think. Because you never know what your type is. Sometimes the type that you've been following is the wrong type, and you need to get in with the right type. And it's important to do that, to realize that this type thing is a fallacy. And you know what? If you find someone that you really like and you guys click, that's your type. But I had an issue. I've talked about it on the show when after my ex-wife, I got on an online. Here I come. I mean, that's phrasing. What is this thing here? Okay, here goes.
Financial.
Good morning and welcome to the Best of New Focus on Wealth with Chad Burton. We do this every Friday morning, and this is a show from Wednesday. Chad will be talking a little bit about the seminar that actually happened last night. But don't worry, there'll be another seminar coming up soon.
The views in it. Phrasing.
That's right. That's what I just did on the radio. Thought I'd share that with you. Anything going on in the world today? So yeah, open your mind as far as the types go, because you'll be pleasantly surprised. What are extreme jeans? A denim brand. Jeans are just the jeans industry. This story gets kicked around every couple of years, but jeans are going crazy in China. People love the jeans in China, that industry there. But denim brand debuts extreme cutout jeans. They're costing $168, even though it looks like a mountain lion has attacked you. A Los Angeles-based brand is selling jeans for $168 that leave very little to the imagination. Denim company Kamar debuted its extreme cutout jeans, and people on social media couldn't get enough. They're the buttless and thong and etc. So that's a thing that you probably didn't really need to know about, but maybe you'll at some point see. Nearly 1,500 Hawaiian residents were ordered to evacuate after a volcano erupted. The National Guard assisted with evacuations after the Kilauea volcano spewed molten lava that chewed up forests and roads near the town of Pahoa. Yes. When did this happen? And let's see. We have a little sound for you. Oh wow, that's lava's flying through the air. They couldn't predict how long Thursday's eruption would last. Yesterday, prompting Hawaii's governor to activate the National Guard to help with evacuations and provide securing to about 770 structures left empty when residents sought shelter. No reports of injury at this time. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Volcanoes. Really? We have volcanoes in the world. And they go something like boom. Stuff flies out, as you know. I also, this is interesting. After sex abuse scandal, there's going to be no Nobel Prize in literature. As you know, a lot of people want Trump and Trump is...
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander.
Trump, if he gets... Because of the South Korea and North Korea talking now, people are like, oh, well, it's all Trump. Because Trump deserves the Nobel Prize for that. But the Nobel Prize in literature may not happen. It will postpone the 2018 award till next year after it was engulfed in a scandal over sexual assault allegations. This is the Swedish Academy. It will next year. It will name 2 winners, making this the first year since World War II that the panel has decided not to bestow one of the world's most revered cultural honors. The Academy is involved only in the literature awards, so other Nobel prizes are unaffected. Last November, a Swedish newspaper reported that 18 women said they had been sexually assaulted or harassed by Jean-Claude Arnault, who is closely tied to the Swedish Academy and is accused of using his stature in the arts world to try to coerce women into sex. Now, on to something else very quickly before we wrap up the show. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. And that is, I have been listening to another fantastic podcast that happens to be on the daily. And one podcast I was listening to on the way to work was this one about this guy who was in charge of Dan Quayle's campaign. Dan Quayle was vice president from 88 to 92, and he was this good-looking guy in politics who tried to equate himself with John F. Kennedy. And Lloyd Benson, who was running for vice president that year in 88, he was on the ticket with Michael Dukakis. Lloyd Benson famously said, I knew Jack Kennedy, you are no Jack Kennedy, you are no John F. Kennedy. And the crowd loved it, and that forever haunted Dan Quayle. And was the potato scandal involved with him? No, that was him. No, that was George. That was him too. The potato thing. He spelled potato wrong. So he always had this cloud over him. He ran for president about 10 years after he was first sworn in as vice president, but he lost to George H.W. Bush's son, George W. Bush. So that was fascinating about why he just never became a huge political force. He is not in politics now, Dan Quayle, and he's forever become the butt of jokes. He made fun of Murphy Brown, of Candice Bergen. He was very upset that Candice Bergen wasn't married, or Murphy Brown wasn't married when she has her baby. The character has her baby on the show, Murphy Brown. And that became a big thing, and Dan Quayle is just like, shut up. And that was on Ken Rudin's show that I told you about called The Political Junkie. He had a great show about 1968 I was talking about a little bit. Now, The Daily is talking about this guy, the Golden State Killer, that was caught recently. And Paul Holes has been investigating this case for decades, and he was uploading DNA evidence to a genealogy website, and that finally helped him crack the case. But he has been working on it for decades, and it's just amazing because this creep, the guy that they caught, he had been raping women and killing people for decades. He was known up here as the East Area Killer. Was that it? Or the Golden State Killer is what he's known for, because down in the Southern California area, he was known as the Night Stalker. And I totally remember that growing up in Southern California. But just amazing.
Hack them again. They were afraid to leave their house. You know, there was an obligation to continue. And that's what kind of spurred me into...
Yeah, he kept studying this guy, Paul, because he had met several of the victims and knew that, you know, this was a man that had to be caught.
That were involved in this back in the 1970s recognized the seriousness of this offender and put non-destruct orders on all East Area rapist evidence in the sheriff's property room. Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office is the only agency in Northern California that did that.
Yeah, that's fascinating too. Do you know that police agencies will destroy evidence after a certain amount of time so that they can make room for more evidence? And Contra Costa, as he just said there, is the only organization that did not do that because they knew this was such an important case to keep an eye on. So the case led him down to Los Angeles, to Santa Barbara. So he followed it to the end, and they finally caught the guy recently. So found that very fascinating. All right, thank you for listening to the show. On that note, on a positive note, hopefully, I hope you have a positive weekend. And I talked to someone who might be listening today, who listens to my work as I produce several shows on KDOW in the morning, and I pick the music and I supply the sound effects, fantastic sound effects like they took our jobs, or maybe perhaps something else. Is there something here that I kind of found out? Is there one here? Well, something from this guy.
What was that all about?
I always keep my ear open for crazy stuff he says, but then everything he says would be a soundbite. So yeah, that's what I do. I do a lot of, I try to make radio fun and creative. And the guys that host the shows, they give you important financial information and facts and tips. So I try and make it all work. So thank you if you are listening to the show for the first time. And that's what I do. And I've been in radio, as I finally figured out this weekend and had a massive revelation about it, that I have been in radio for 30 years now. Over 30 years. Yeah, so actually, 2 years ago would have been the 30-year anniversary. So I'm glad we celebrated that. Didn't we? No, we didn't. Happy May the 4th to you. By the way, May the 7th will be 7 years that I have been doing this show on the internet, Mike's Daily Podcast. I have been podcasting for almost 10 years, but I called this show and launched the name Mike's Daily Podcast 10 years ago. So we'll be celebrating that on May 7th. That is next Monday or something? Tuesday. Yeah, Monday. So hopefully we'll have a Super Secret Sunday show. I got super busy last weekend. I couldn't do one. But possibly this Monday I'll be able to bring a hopefully we'll be back for the Monday show if I don't do a Super Secret Sunday show. So enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your May the 4th. Long live Yoda. And I should go out with a Weird Al Yankovic Yoda song. But I won't. Just, you can listen to that in your own brain. Yeah. Alright, I'll sing you a little bit. I met him on a... Okay, there you go. Next show, it is Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Oh my god, that was a tease.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!